nasty night to be outside. You made a smart call staying in with us. Driving tonight and tomorrow morning will be suboptimal. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert's lead bends but does not break as the final votes are being counted. We'll look at what gets flagged as this goes to a recount. Twitter appears to be collapsing. Not great for Colorado's emergency managers and meteorologists who use Twitter to try and save lives in dangerous situations. Denver Public Schools' plan to close school buildings has run into a buzzsaw of opposition from families. It might not pass the school board tonight. Cold, snowy evening. So, unless you got like a soccer game to play or something, let's settle in by the fireplace and talk about Colorado on Next.
Welcome to our warming center. We're both among the fortunate ones tonight. We have a safe and toasty place on a cold and snowy night. The kind of night we just talked about last night as the city of Denver was finally shamed into opening up warming centers on nights other than the absolute coldest we see. If you're waiting on somebody headed home, it's honestly not bad in and around the city right now on the roads. This is I-25 in Colfax. CDOT's out doing what our tax dollars pay them to do, so we offer them our thanks. And we will skip the 3-minute local news story about how plows work. City of Denver is keeping to its promise from last night and opening up a warm space overnight for people on the streets. The Carla Madison Rec Center on East Colfax is open tonight and tomorrow night. That is the only place that is going to be open overnights. Rec centers will be open during normal operating hours. Want to go to 9 News meteorologist Lauren Robinson now to talk about potential for up to 10 inches of snow in some places.
That's right. The high country does have several areas where they could see up to 10 inches of snow. Here in Denver, it's looking like we'll be closer to the 6-inch territory. But right now, temperatures are very cold. And as we go into the overnight hours, we will see those wind chill. That's the feels like factor dip sub-zero. So it's going to be very cold, and we're going to continue to see more snow push in. Right now, we're at 19 degrees at DIA. It feels like just 8 degrees, though, with those winds coming in at 9 miles per hour. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at these winter weather alerts that we have. I'll move off the screen so that we can see them in their entirety. The red is going to be your winter storm warnings. That's where we're going to see maybe 5 to 10 inches of snow. Those winds gusting around 35 miles per hour. This is mostly going to be Fort Collins, Boulder, and the western Denver suburbs. All the rest, this teal area, that's going to be winter weather advisories. The one that'll be in effect for Denver will also be in effect for Castle Rock, Byers, and southern Front Range foothills. That's where we'll see maybe 2 to 6 inches of snowfall. And then all the other areas, we could see maybe around 4 to 10 inches with those winds gusting up to around 40 miles per hour. So we still have quite a bit more snow to push into the area. And we can see that on our HD Doppler radar here, continuing to push in from the north. And we're seeing that line of snow mostly along the I-25 corridor and spilling eastward just a bit into the eastern plains. But we're going to watch for all of this snow to linger as we go into the early Friday morning hours. So that's why tomorrow we'll see some morning snow showers. Temperatures will stay very cold. We won't make it above freezing all day long, but those showers, even the clouds will move in. We'll get some midday sun, but not going to do too much to warm us up until we get into the weekend. That's where we see these temperatures start to rebound. We're in the low 40s Saturday, upper 40s Sunday. We'll see some 50s midweek. And then Turkey Day, Thanksgiving, we'll see mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies, those highs in the upper 40s.
You know, Twitter is more than just a place for 9 News viewers to tell me I'm a communist. It's also how a lot of Colorado's emergency managers now send out split-second information when seconds really matter. So Twitter's potential collapse, as billionaire Elon Musk runs his new purchase into the ground, that has on-the-ground implications for public safety in our state. Tonight, as Musk tells the Twitter employees that he hasn't fired yet that they need to prepare to work all hours or get out, CNN is reporting that Twitter has shut down all of its offices, pulled everybody's badge access, and told everyone to stay away until Monday. Sounds like a real healthy situation. Our Anusha Roy looks at the potential impact on Colorado's emergency communications.
Tweet after tweet came in today. Winter weather warnings, road closures, and openings. It's where emergency alerts and updates are routinely posted. Critical information to keep people safe.
It's definitely a worry.
Jenny Schiavone with the city of Denver said preparing for emergencies includes adapting to what's happening on Twitter. Worried during a crisis, people won't trust what they read or find the wrong account, especially after the announcement people can buy a blue check mark previously reserved to verify an account. So the city took action nation today.
Honestly, in reaction to the increasing imposter activity on Twitter.
She's talking about this Twitter thread, walking you through how to make sure you're looking at the legitimate City of Denver Twitter account.
What's at stake is the continued flow of consistent, reliable information.
While buying the blue check mark has been paused, Professor Laurel Lane with MSU Denver said the fallout already happened. There's confusion about what to trust on Twitter.
Somebody created a fake Eli Lilly account. They posted something like insulin is now free. The Eli Lilly stock price was actually impacted by this for a period of time on the market that day.
Lane said established accounts can still hold on to reliability because you can check the number of followers, when the profile was made, the language they use. But it's newer, smaller media outlets and brands in Colorado that could run into problems.
Someone creates a fake account and tries to be that particular media outlet.
While the City of Denver has seen a few imposter accounts show up over the last several years, there is heightened awareness now. But they're staying on Twitter because that's where a lot of people are still scrolling. People they need to make sure they still reach. So on its website, Twitter was talking about applying labels and badges for government accounts, but there's still confusion if that's still a thing or how it's going to work. We couldn't get that clarity today. Kyle, we were asking the City of Denver about it as well. They said they're also not sure if it's still being rolled out, but that is one of the things they're waiting to find out, if that could help set them apart or not.
I think every person, every agency is making their own determination. I noticed the other day somebody had created a lookalike account for me and was tweeting it at coworkers here at 9 News saying, like, you coming into the office today? Can you help me with this? I'm just like, oh, no, just text me if you need something. But I mean, like, all these agencies you're talking to, they can't text everybody all at once. We've shown those systems don't really work.
Right. And so, we talked to Denver police, we talked to the state, we talked to Boulder, and right now they're all staying on Twitter because they said there's a lot of people still there, but they're very closely monitoring for those fake accounts. Denver said that if they find one, they either work with that social media platform. Sometimes they even get the city attorney involved to shut it down as quickly as possible.
Band played on the Titanic all the way to the end. All right, Anusha, thank you. So the vote count is moving again. It's closing the gap in Colorado's most closely contested congressional race. Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert's lead is shrinking to the point of an automatic recount. But everybody needs to be super clear on this. Recounts have not significantly shifted votes in Colorado, and she still leads. So as ballots with signature issues were corrected today and military and overseas ballots were counted, Boebert's lead shrunk from 1,100 votes to 543. Deadline to finish counting is tomorrow. Recount is not likely to change much. Remember Republican Secretary of State candidate Tina Peters? She paid for a recount in her big primary loss in August. She gained like 13 votes. Politics guy Marshall Zelling's along to look at what happens with the recount. It's not simply, oh, they just count all the votes that they counted the first time. They're looking for things.
Yeah, let me put to rest any thoughts that a recount is going to drastically change the race. A recount may change a few votes, and it's not because of machine error. It's human error. Here's an example. Let's say someone filled out their ballot like that. The machine likely did not register a vote and alerted the election workers to review the ballots. It's ballots like these that could change. Maybe it wasn't counted the first time, and after another review during a recount, it would be. Here's what it looks like to review a ballot. I shot this footage in Jefferson County in June. 2 election workers of opposing parties review ballots that the machine cannot read correctly. In this example, the machine did not know what to do with one race marked with both candidates. You can see this voter in the June Republican primary voted for Joe O'Day, crossed the name out, and then filled in the bubble for Ron Hanks. Those election workers review this and decide what the voter intent was. In this case, they awarded the vote to Hanks. Well, here's another example. What if I voted like this? Perhaps the 2 election workers of opposing parties originally did not count that as a proper vote for Lauren Boebert, but in a recount, it may be seen differently as voter intent. As I reported on Monday, there are 6,200 undervotes in that race. That means either the voter just simply left the race blank and didn't vote for anyone, or maybe they did this. And it wasn't counted the first time, but under more scrutiny in a recount, it may count the second time.
Remind me again, how many votes are out there, potential undervotes?
When I did it on Monday, about 6,200 in all of Congressional District 3.
And that's significant with a 500 vote margin. But as you pointed out there, a number of those, if not most of those, could be people who just simply did not choose to vote the race. There is no vote to be counted there.
Mostly an undervote just means you left it blank. But when we're talking about a race this close, you can't say that from 6,200. Maybe it's as simple as nobody noticed that small dot.
All right, Marshall, thank you. Very real impact of imaginary election rigging conspiracies played out in court today in Denver, as a guy from El Paso County was told he has to give up his guns for 2 years. A judge found that he's a threat to the people at Denver-based Dominion voting systems. We're not naming the guy because he's not been charged with a crime. In September, this man came to Dominion's new downtown office building on 2 consecutive weeks, tried to get to Dominion's floor, but he was stopped by security and off-duty police. He was ranting about election security, admitted he had some weapons in his car. Today, a judge issued a permanent restraining order that limits this guy's ability to have guns for 2 years. Judge said he was engaged in obsessive behavior, and she said unless she did this, she thought the behavior would continue.
Dugco school leaders tried to bridge their political divide to get more funding for schools. Voters said no. Now some board members are openly embracing the conservative parents' rights movement.
It connects our community to being part of a national witch hunt to demonize teachers.
And Denver's scaled-back plan to close some schools may get scaled back again tonight at the last minute. We'll go out to the meeting where the future of schools is being determined next.
Tonight, Denver's school board is voting on whether to close 5 schools that have declining enrollment. The district originally recommended 10 closures, then parents erupted, the school board splintered on this. Now the superintendent's talking about narrowing it down to just 2 school closures. So the Denver School District had originally selected Denver Discovery School, Fairview Elementary, Schmidt Elementary, the International Academy of Denver, and the Math and Science Leadership Academy. Now Superintendent Alex Marrero is recommending just 2 closures, Math and Science Leadership Academy and Denver Discovery School. The board's been talking about possible school consolidations because of revenue issues since 2017. The review of under-enrolled schools didn't begin until last year. This process has drawn a lot of concern from parents and teachers at those impacted schools. What's happening right now is the board's going to vote tonight on specific school closures. They also could make the choice to take future closures off the table completely. The board's talking about those proposals right now. When they make a decision, we'll keep you updated on 9news.com and on 9 News at 9 and 10. Colorado's Republican Party chairwoman has come out and said in recent days that the party is pivoting after their Election Day disaster. They're going to try to focus more on municipal races and school boards. Colorado GOP is at its most powerless point in modern political history, so they're kind of looking at a ground-up rebuild. And it's an effort that is already being led by conservative parents' rights groups inside and outside schools. One such group from Jeffco was a big force behind Heidi Ganahl's campaign for governor that ended in a blowout loss. And another one of these groups is very prominent in Douglas County. A ballot measure in November to raise funding for schools failed in Dougco. The argument against it that was put before voters, like in the booklet, railed against quote-unquote woke ideology indoctrination in the curriculum. The school funding measure was an attempt to kind of have a truce between conservative school board majority members and their minority critics on and off the board. At this week's meeting, one of the minority board directors asked why politics is still so seeped into their work. Director Susan Meek noted that Dougco Superintendent Aaron Kane and the conservative board members went to an event recently hosted by the Colorado Parent Advocacy Network, a group that's raised concerns about discussing race, sexuality, and gender in the classroom. Standard conservative parents' rights stuff.
I just think it connects our community to being part of a national witch hunt to demonize teachers who join their profession because they believe in public education and their whole heart is in public education. And it's everything that equity is about. And we cannot legitimize those comments that were made on Sunday about teachers bringing pornography into the classroom, about violating parents' liberties.
Superintendent Kane said that attending that conservative event was a way to communicate to parents that the district is not pushing quote-unquote woke indoctrination. The parents group really thinks highly of Kane. At this event, she received an award from the group. Wasn't this a beautiful day for a soccer game? Just took a little work to make it happen and a lot of work to be a fan out there. That's next. Chilly night. Glad you stayed inside with us. When I heard the University of Denver's men's soccer team was going to play in this weather today, my first thought was like, oh, those poor fans out in the cold, like all 2 of them sitting there. Then I heard the DU was playing the University of San Diego, whose team just flew in from sunny California. Our photojournalist Corky Scholl grabbed his camera and went to check it out.
It is freezing and snowy and beautiful. This is our kind of soccer weather.
It's lovely. It's not quite what we were hoping for or expecting, but it's a nice change of pace from Texas, honestly.
Snow didn't stop me.
You know, a little weather's come in, so it's all hands on deck here to get ready.
It's pretty neat to see everybody chip in, all the staff, the kids, the other teams chip in to get the field cleared. It's pretty cool.
You know, you can't plow the grass fields, so you can only just kind of move it and shovel it.
I woke up this morning, I saw from my son, he texted me a picture of the field covered probably 3-4 inches of snow. And he said it's a beautiful day for soccer here in Denver, and I couldn't agree more.
It's the NCAA tournament. Our fans will still be out here.
I mean, we were prepared for it. Obviously brought my ski gear.
To stay warm? Oh my gosh, it's layers, layers, layers.
I went to my closet, got my old ski gear out, decided the kind of Ronald McDonald look was going to work today to stay warm, and so that's what I went with.
I got a good workout in this morning so that I could get my heart rate up and get warm, and then I took a nice quick hot bubble bath, got all dressed in layers, and then I stopped off and got some hand warmers in case it gets really, really cold. Yeah, so just the basics.
I got hand warmers in here. If that counts as a heated booth, then yes. I might have to go get a beverage or two to have the heated booth. So.
You know, sometimes you got to step out of your comfort zone to reach your goal.
Let's go Pios. Let's go Pios.
The most Colorado thing we saw today. Car ready for the road or the slopes? Today was obviously a day for both. That and your feedback next. Make and do with what you got. It's the most Colorado thing we saw today. No car bumper? No problem. Viewer named Celeste sent us this snapshot from the Eldora parking lot. Somebody lost their bumper and grabbed the closest thing at hand, a snowboard. That'll at least let you know when you're in too close in your parking spot. That works, and it feels like Colorado. This is what we're looking for. Email it to us at next@9news.com or use the hashtag HeyNext. She mentioned we talked earlier in this program about the Carla Madison Rec Center being opened as a warming center. That's an additional warming center that the city is opening up. It's in addition to the other shelters that are run around town, the ones that tend to fill up on really cold nights. It's not exclusively the only place to stay overnight. She mentioned the DU Pioneers won that snowy game against San Diego, 1-0. Caleb writes in tonight about the sinking of the Twitter ship to say, if the ship sinks, how will you continue to receive feedback from your valuable former viewers who stopped watching years ago? If you know, you know. That's a great comment, Caleb. And Patricia writes in to say, well, that took me by surprise. Got a little teary-eyed at the virtual return to the fireplace in your basement that we spent so much time with at the pandemic. It's funny, every now and then I'll be walking through Home Depot or something like that. Somebody's like, yay, fireplace guy. That's cool. It was a fun little time we spent together. The times weren't fun. The time we shared was decent. See you next time.